My head of security shoved me into a van and said, "If you want your son alive, stay invisible." 10 minutes later, the rear doors opened, and my future daughter-in-law, Elena, climbed in. She didn't see me buried under the table linens. She pulled out a burner phone and her voice, usually sweet as honey, dropped to a gravelly whisper. "The wire is pending. I told you, the old woman has to go first. If she's at the wedding, the trust won't unlock." That sentence hit me harder than a bullet. The old woman was me. We weren't driving to the Pierre Hotel anymore. We were heading deep into Queens, to a neighborhood Elena claimed she'd never visited. She told us she was a solitary orphan, a violin prodigy with no ties. We stopped in front of a rusted shipping container converted into a home. Elena hopped out. My security chief, Marcus, cracked the door so I could see. She didn't knock. She whistled. A man with prison tattoos stepped out. Then, a toddler in a grease-stained shirt waddled after him, screaming, "Mama." Elena scooped the boy up. She kissed the man on the mouth, a desperate, familiar kiss. I stayed frozen under the tablecloths. "He's getting suspicious," she told the man. "The son is soft, but the mother is a hawk. I have to dose her champagne at the toast." Cardiac arrest. Clean. Heat climbed my neck and my vision blurred. She wasn't just a gold digger. She was an assassin. "Just get the money and come home," the man grunted. "We owe the cartel 6 figures." "I know," she snapped. "Tonight, after the ambulance takes her body away, the son will be too broken to read the prenup. We liquidate and run." Marcus pulled me back into the dark as she returned to the van. He silently handed me a tablet. I pulled her cloud backups. He whispered. The screen glowed with the evidence. A marriage certificate from Vegas, 5 years ago. A birth certificate for the boy. And a search history, undetectable poisons, how to bypass autopsy, widow inheritance tax. The target was my life. The price tag was my son's future. I wanted to scream. I wanted to strangle her right there among the napkins. But Marcus gripped my arm. "Not here," he signaled. In the light, we drove back to the venue. I slipped out the service entrance, shaking, while Elena went to hair and makeup to paint on her innocence. My husband had built this empire from nothing. He died protecting it. I wasn't going to let a grifter dismantle it for a cartel debt. The ceremony. The guests were seated. The flowers cost more than most houses. My son, Julian, stood at the altar, looking like he'd won the lottery. Elena walked down the aisle. She looked angelic. She smiled at me, the woman she planned to murder in 2 hours. When the officiant asked for objections, I didn't stand up. I walked to the stage. "I object," I said, my voice amplifying over the speakers. "Mom?" Julian looked mortified. "What are you doing?" "You're drunk." Elena's face was a mask of concern. "Oh God, is it her medication?" I signaled the side door. Marcus walked in. He wasn't alone. He was holding the hand of the toddler. The tattooed man was in handcuffs behind him, flanked by 2 off-duty officers I'd hired. The toddler saw Elena in her white dress. "Mama!" he shrieked, breaking free and running down the aisle. "Mama!" Elena froze. The angel mask shattered into pure terror. The church went dead silent. The little boy grabbed her expensive lace train. "Up, Mama, up." Julian stared at the child, then at Elena. "You said you were an orphan," he whispered. "Who is this?" I handed Julian the tablet. "This is her husband. That is her son. And this," I scrolled to the search history, "is how she planned to kill me during the toast." Julian read the screen. The color drained from his face until he was gray. He looked at Elena. "Cardiac arrest?" "It's a lie." Elena screamed, backing away. "She's jealous. She's crazy." The husband shouted from the back. "She promised me half the inheritance, man. She said you were an easy mark." The police moved in. Elena tried to run toward the sacristy. She made it 3 steps before Marcus blocked her path like a stone wall. They cuffed her in front of 300 witnesses. As they dragged her out, she didn't look at Julian. She looked at me with eyes full of pure, unadulterated hate. "You hold on to it too tight," she spat. "You deserve to rot." "Maybe," I said, smoothing my dress. "But not today." Julian collapsed on the altar steps. I sat beside him, ignoring the whispers of the elite. He cried into my shoulder, mourning a ghost that never existed. He hated me in that moment. He felt humiliated, stripped bare. I took it. A mother's shoulder is built to carry her child's hate if it means carrying his life. The next few weeks were a blur of legal teams and annulments. We found out she had done this before. 2 other fiancés in Texas were tragically widowed. We broke the cycle. Julian is in therapy now. He's learning to trust again, but he checks the background of everyone he meets. Marcus got a raise and a new car. I trust him more than the board of directors. I ruined my son's perfect day to save his life. And honestly, I'd burn the whole venue down again if I had to.